You don't have to spend a lot of money on gardening. You just have to know where to find the gardening hacks in order to make it cheaper. Margaret, does it cost a lot of money to make a garden?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Did you know that you can make a garden for not very much money?
Yeah.
Yeah? You knew that? What do you think that we can do to make a garden with not very much money?
By not getting money.
By not using money? That's a good idea. I was thinking about showing everybody how to start a garden without using a whole lot of money. Is that a good idea? Yeah. Okay. Do you have any ideas of how to do that?
How about we use money sometimes and money not sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes you got to use the money on things that you can't get for free. And then you can use things that are free when you don't want to spend the money, right? Okay, well, I'm going to teach them how to get free seeds, and I'm going to teach them how to get good soil but cheap, and I'm going to teach them how to get containers for free that they can use for growing plants. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. The first place you're going to go is your local dollar store if you have one. Dollar stores often have seeds that are for $1 or $1.25 nowadays, and they are just as good as seeds bought anywhere else. You can also find bulbs. I have not tested the bulbs and compared them to other places. You can find all sorts of pots and tools, gardening gloves, even hose fixtures and gardening tools. I wouldn't consider them top quality, but they'll definitely get the job done. Don't limit yourself to the area that's for just gardening. All the other containers in the store are great for use in gardening as well. You can get some larger ones that'll fit more plants. These are particularly good for growing potatoes because then you can just shake them out. And if you need seed trays, these aluminum trays are the best bang for your buck. You don't have to spend $3 on one tray. You can spend a lot less and get more space. Solo cups work well for seed starting, and they are cheaper than the real seed starting pots. Local grocery store is your next stop on your search for gardening material. Look for tomatoes, onions, potatoes, garlic, and anything else that you can sprout and start to grow. Green beans and corn can even be used, although you will have to look for the best ones. See on this green bean how it's a little bit more bulby? That'll do better. If you're picking peppers, make sure you pick a red one. They're the most ripe. At your local farm or big box store, you'll see lots of different soils. If you can dig up some of the soil in your yard, don't worry about getting new soil. Just mix it with some humus and manure. Always do price comparisons for things like potatoes and onions. If you can get them cheaper at the store, you can go ahead and use those. Otherwise, get the real seed potatoes and the real seed onions from farm stores and hardware stores. If you're lucky, they may even have chicken nugget seeds. You can seed save from lots of different store-bought veggies. This is how I seed save from a red bell pepper. I choose the red ones because they are the ripest. They're not a different variety than the green, yellow, or orange, but they're definitely the ripest, so their seeds are the most mature. All you got to do is pop out the seed, the core where all the seeds grow, and then we're going to get a paper plate, or paper towel works too, although it's more flimsy, and we're just going to kind of scrape off all of the seeds and let them dry a little bit. Now you can go ahead and plant these immediately. So if your soil's ready, go for it. Otherwise, go ahead and just save these seeds until you're ready to start your plants. Most seed starting from seed saving is just this easy. Pop the seeds out and plant them. Some vegetables take a little bit more work. So do what you can, and most of the time they turn out really well. Seed saving tomatoes is pretty much the same as peppers. If you're going to save them for more than a few weeks, if you want to save them for the next year, you're going to want to do a little bit different process. But if you're just using it for this year, go ahead and cut open your tomatoes and then scoop out those seeds with a knife or a spoon or your finger, whatever you got. Fruits were designed as basically nice places for seeds to grow. Tomatoes are a fruit, so are peppers. So I'm separating the seeds out a little bit here. And you can leave them to just dry on a paper plate, or you can get a little paper towel and soak it up and get some of that moisture off, because the moisture will help it to sprout. I've planted it straight like this, and I've gotten some good plants, which I'll show you in a minute. Or you can let them dry really well and save them for later. And you can still use these to eat. Now, these are some that I had growing from earlier. As you can see, the seeds that I directly sowed in there did really well. I saved a container from the tomatoes and put my soil in there. And underneath is a lunch meat container. So these containers cost me nothing, and neither did the seeds. The only expense here was the paper towel and the soil. Cucumbers and zucchinis are a little harder to save the seeds from. You're going to look for one that's more mature than this cucumber. If it looks like it's tough, has tough skin, looks a little overgrown, that's actually going to be your best bet for saving seeds. It may not be your best bet for eating, but, you know, you can make do. If you are going to save the seeds from these, you're going to gently pull them apart and look for whole, complete seeds, and then dry them just like the tomato and the peppers. This one didn't have very good seeds, but I wanted to show you just so you had an idea of how you could use it. There's a lot of other things that you can seed save. You can seed save from squash, like so, the spaghetti squash, butternut squash, acorn squash, all of those. Those are actually very easy to seed save from. And you can use your sprouted potatoes. Excuse the rustling as I dig through my pantry here. If you've got some potatoes that have sprouted, those are perfect for planting. You can sprout sweet potatoes and use the slips from those to grow more sweet potatoes. You can grow from dry beans, not split peas. They have to be whole. They have to be entire. But, sorry about the kids in the background. They're just playing. But you can grow black beans, pinto beans, anything like that. And all of this is stuff that you probably would have been buying for your food anyway. So the seeds are like a byproduct. That's how they end up being basically free. Containers to grow in. I'm going to go ahead and close this door, guys. All right. So speaking of containers to grow in, you can use almost anything to seed start. You can use tin cans. Poke a hole in the bottom so that they have some drainage, or whatever. This one wouldn't work very great because it's got that round bottom. But use your can opener to punch some holes in the bottom, and excellent. Or you can use solo cups if you have some left over from the holidays or something like that. You can use yogurt cups. Those are really good. I do not typically recommend that anyone uses egg cartons. And the reason is I have never had good fortune with egg cartons. They have always molded. They have always caused dampening off with my plants. I much prefer non-porous materials for seed starting. So metal is a second, plastic is a first. So some things plastic is just good for. So if you can save the containers that like strawberries and tomatoes and blueberries come in, that have the drainage holes already poked, that's your best bet. Soil-wise, I touched on it earlier. Use the soil you have outside and just add some nutrients to it using some composted manure in it. Excellent work. That's all you really need to get started. You do not need to spend hundreds of dollars on gourmet soil, okay? Just get started with a little bit at a time. Check yard sales. Check Facebook Marketplace. Check Craigslist. Look for all of these places and see what you can come up with secondhand. Gardening shouldn't cost an arm and a leg. It should save you your arms and legs, I suppose. So, happy gardening, and enjoy this little goodbye that's coming up next from me and my little helper who really wanted to be in a video today. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope that was a very helpful video. I hope that it gave you some ideas that you hadn't had before. If you have any ideas for others to use for frugal gardening, put them down in the comments. And Miss Margaret here has something she wants to tell you. What do you want to tell them?
Please subscribe to my mom's video.
There you go. Please subscribe to our videos.
Yes, subscribe to our video.
There you go. Because then that means that they get to see that we put up a new video, and then if they want to watch it, they can watch it. But if they don't subscribe, then they won't know if we put up a new video. Then they would have to look it up every time and be like, I wonder if they put anything else interesting up there. That's not very efficient, is it? Okay, do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye.
Bye. Say see you next time. God bless. Say see you next time.
See you next time.
Say God bless you.
God bless you.
And then wave.